What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bridging the Geekdoms. I am your host, Robert Slavinsky. I hope you're hearing me fine. I'm doing this a different way than I normally do. It's been a while since I have done any sort of video, live stream, anything like that. And that's kind of what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk about where I've been, why I've been away, and talk about some things going on right now. So how's it going, everybody? It's been a minute. Sure has. Got no viewers. That's okay. Didn't expect I would get many people watching. But, so where have I been? Well, it's interesting. The past few weeks now, the first week that we didn't do anything, I was actually a little bit sick. I was under the weather, had a head cold. It was a lot of coughing. It wasn't COVID, but it was a lot of coughing. And when I would try to talk, I would cough a lot. So I felt that it wasn't in the best interest to do a show where I couldn't talk at all, because I figured, well, if I can't talk, then what's the point of doing a show? So then I did the whole thing where I was going to take a couple weeks off and kind of just recoup. And then something hit me mentally. Like, I've been pretty, I haven't been doing anything even on social media or anything like that. I've just been really just blah with everything. And I came to the conclusion that I haven't felt like I'm doing the best I can do with this show and with the podcast. I mean, I myself started podcasting back in 2016 with a few of my friends. And during that time, we started off with different types of podcasts, whether it was political, whether it was whatever. It was something, we were always doing something podcast wise. And then in 2017, we jumped in and really started the pop culture one with the remote control, and it built from there. Did a couple years of that, and I had a lot of fun. Colton and I really dug in. We really enjoyed doing everything with Bridging the Geekdom, or remote control, then Bridging the Geekdoms, and we were having a lot of fun. But then a couple years ago, some things came up, and we took basically a year off from podcasting, at least Bridging the Geekdoms. Now, during that time, I did do Shooting the Sith, and I did that on a semi-regular basis. So I didn't take an entire year off from podcasting. I've always been doing some sort of podcasting or something in this regard for a number of years. And this past few weeks, I just was sitting there just kind of like mentally thinking, like, things have changed a lot. And it became something that I didn't feel like I was able to be myself on these podcasts. Now, granted, I'm sure those of you who have watched and have followed along, I did a lot of discussion and talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League and that whole ordeal that took place over the last year. And I really enjoyed doing that. But that isn't how we used to podcast. That's not what we used to do. Our podcast was, I don't want to say this is a terrible way of explaining it, but it was a little more edgy. We would, we would be ourselves, is essentially what I'm saying, is we would not hold back. I'm not about that PC culture. I'm not about, look, in my opinion, it's not on me to make you feel good. If you enjoy my show and it makes you feel good because you enjoy it, great. If you don't enjoy my show, go somewhere else. And that's kind of how Colton and I always went about it, is, look, this is our show. We're going to do what we want. We're going to talk how we want, where we want, about what we want. And yeah, it always stuck in the pop culture realm. It stuck with the nerd realm of comic book movies and everything like that. But we would talk about other stuff as well, in Hollywood and entertainment. It was just a good time. And the past few months, while Colton and I have been doing the live shows, it hasn't felt right. It doesn't feel like it did before. It feels like a chore to sit down and actually do a podcast and actually discuss and talk about these things, because you have to tiptoe around so much bullshit nowadays, because it's all about this PC culture. If you use the wrong pronoun, you're basically canceled. Your head is put on a chopping block, and it's screw you. You don't appreciate people. Or if you say, one thing that's a little too conservative or right leaning, you're canceled. If you say one wrong thing about COVID-19, you're canceled. And I'm not about that tiptoeing life. That's not a man. That's not how I was raised. I tell it how it is. I tell you how I feel. If you don't like it, be damned. And that is kind of what I've been struggling with lately, because, that's not what I wanted to do podcasting. I didn't want to sit back and have to be just, well, I can't talk about this. I can't talk about this. That whole Cara dude, that whole the Gina Carano stuff that happened not too long ago. And like, that pisses me off. It pisses me off to know, but I felt like I could talk about it because there was a bit of fear that I would get canceled, that people would start saying, oh, look at this show. They support Gina Carano, which I do 100% support Gina Carano, and I do not agree with how they handled that entire situation. But in this world, people can't accept that people have different opinions. And it just got to a point for me where I was just like, I don't know if I want to tiptoe around all this shit anymore. So I took a few weeks, and I was really just looking inside myself and saying, do I want to do this? Do I want to continue doing this? And how do I want to continue doing it if I do? And I decided, yes, I'm going to continue, but I'm not going to tiptoe anymore. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, how I want to talk about, where and when I want to talk about it, because I'm not going to tiptoe around anything anymore. I've made a lot of cool friends, a lot of great acquaintances over the past year and a half here doing what I'm doing. And, I appreciate every single one of them. And I hope that me being myself now, and this isn't about me saying I'm going to be political. This isn't about me saying I'm going to disrespect people. But when I see bullshit, when I see things that are ridiculous, I'm going to call it out. And that's what this is about. I'm sick and tired of, being afraid. Whenever you talk about Hollywood and the pop culture world, there is shit that pops up that is just stupid, especially in this current culture of, political correctness and progressiveness. There's just so much bullshit going on. And whether you're right leaning or left leaning or down the middle, there's bullshit all around. And I'm just sick and tired of turning around it and not being able to express myself how I want to, and not talking about the things I want to talk about. There's all this stuff going on, and to this point, I've supported Ray Fisher from the moment that he came out and said, look, this shit happened on the set of Justice League. And I've supported him, and I've supported anybody who's come out and talked about it and who's been willing to mention what has happened. But the one thing that I couldn't stand, and this is something that Ray Fisher posted, is all this stuff going on over in the Middle East between the Palestinians and Israel, and he legitimately, supported a terror group. And everybody's sitting on Twitter, on Facebook, and they're sharing his tweet and his comments on it. And it's just like, no, man, like, that's not what being an entertainer is about. You need to stay out of politics. You need to stay out of that shit. You should not be utilizing your pedestal to sway people politically or in any form or fashion. And to me, that's what he did, and I think it is complete bullshit in that regard. Now, I won't say the same about Gal Gadot, because she supported her own country. That was her country. She fought or was part of that military in Israel. She is Israeli. That's where she comes from. She's showing her support for her loved ones, her family. But Ray Fisher supporting a terrorist group, I felt, was completely wrong. And that was kind of the last straw for me on Twitter a couple weeks ago, because I saw that and I was just like, I can't support somebody who's like that, and I think it is wrong what they're doing. So that kind of threw me down a rabbit hole of all these things, and that's kind of where I've been and why I haven't been doing as much lately. I was sick and that, so here I am. For those of you who care, who watch my channel, who want to follow me, great. I don't have a lot of followers. Never intended this to be something that I'd become a millionaire off of or become famous for, because God forbid that would happen to me. But, this isn't something that I take lightly, because I know that I'm going to lose people. The few people that do watch, I'm probably going to lose some of you. And I understand that. And, I hope that the network, Spoilerverse I'm a part of, they understand that I'm not doing this to be an asshole. I'm not doing it to be vindictive or anything like that. I don't feel like I'm able to be myself on my shows. And that's kind of where I want to leave it. That's how it's going to go moving forward. Now, with all that said, let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on. Like today, MGM and Amazon agreed to a deal. Amazon is buying MGM, which means 007, James Bond, is now an Amazon product once this deal goes through. Obviously, you got all the legal hoops and all that jazz. But, yeah, it's interesting. I'm shocked that it happened. But Netflix, they need to make a move. You take a look at, all these companies now. HBO, Warner Brothers has HBO Max now. And so much more content there. Obviously Universal, and with Peacock they have that. You have Paramount Plus. These streaming there, these catalogs. Amazon has now acquired MGM, which has thousands of movies that they can. Not only that, they now have a legit So then you have that going on, which is crazy. Then the other day, I was told that there is a spiritual successor of one of my favorite video game series is being made, Back for Blood, which is a spiritual successor of Left 4 Dead. I can't wait. I can't believe I missed that. Left 4 Dead was such a fantastic video game series, and there was two of them. One came out in 2008, the other one came out in 2009. They were short games, but they were just so much fun. It was just great cooperative fun. You could sit down with your friends and just kill zombies, hordes and hordes of zombies. It was a lot of fun, and we always wanted a next installment. It was never coming. It was never there. There was always rumor, but never came. And now we're getting this. I don't know how I missed it. This was announced last February 2020. It was announced. Here I am in May of 2021. Had no idea it was coming, and it's coming supposedly the end of this year. So I can't wait for that. I hope you guys get a chance to check that out. I have an article up at spoilerverse.com that kind of dives into it a little bit and gives you a nice trailer for the game. I'm excited about that for sure. But then, speaking of zombies, we have Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which released last week on Netflix, and it was a romping good time. I enjoyed it. Now, there's many parts of it that I felt were just, a lot of people say that it could have been cut down, probably about 30, 40 minutes. Some are saying it could have been a 90-minute film. I don't know, because to me, the beginning was fantastic. It was an amazing beginning. The gathering up of all the players and the crew and the team, I felt just, it didn't flow well. It didn't flow very well. And I feel like there was some of the story, especially with the, you didn't get money to get out, all that kind of thing. Like that just to me seemed a little ridiculous for those refugees or whatever you want to call them that were there on the outskirts. But once the movie got going, once they went into Vegas, the movie just moved. I mean, it went fast. And I sat there and I was like, man, it just got good and it's already over. I wanted more. I wanted so much more. And, people are freaking out on Twitter today and have been lately because there's freaking robot zombies in it and nobody understands why. And they sit there and say, well, why are there robot zombies? Well, we got to wait and see what Snyder has in store to find out. Like, That's what Snyder does with his films. He puts little things in there. If he has ideas to expand on it, he'll put things in his film that he can't expand on at a later time, and which the robot zombies are going to be explained in the animated prequel that is due to come out, I believe, next year. So just hold your horses, people. Calm down. Calm the F down. But I loved it. I loved the zombie aspect of it. It was a good movie. As a whole, it was a good movie. Was it great? No. But it was a really good movie. There were moments that I wish were kind of tightened up, but there were then moments that I wish were really fleshed out and allowed to breathe a little more, mainly all the moments in Vegas, because that's when it was really going and really good. Besides that, I mean, there's some things going on in this world. I got an Oculus Quest 2 a few weeks ago. Have been playing it, really enjoying it, playing Vader Immortal. I played the first 2 chapters. I haven't played the third one yet. I got to play it still. It's excellent. I'm going to have a full review. I'm trying to get Deej from We Are VR and Nerd Talkalypse to come on and talk to me about VR, because he's been playing VR for a number of years, understands it far better than I do. But I'm just diving in, really enjoying it. I wanted to talk to Deej a bit about it and see what his thoughts are. See, I know he wants to hear my opinions on it, so definitely going to have something coming up here, hopefully within the next week or so, where he and I will get to sit down and just discuss everything in regards to VR. But yeah, man, I mean, thanks everybody for watching. I know that it's been hit or miss with my show lately. I had some big plans for the channel that I want to do a lot of trailer reactions, do a lot of different things. I lost my drive because of, I didn't know how to proceed with everything. But now I do. Now I know what I'm going to do, whether people continue watching or not. Look, it's not what it's about. It's about just having fun, doing what you want to do, doing it how you want to do it, how and why. Like, you got to figure out why you want to do it, and you do it for that reason. I'm going to say do it a whole bunch more, because you got to just do it. Do it. I mean, just do it. But honestly, um, Eternals trailer was meh. I'm looking forward to Eternals, but the trailer was just meh. It really wasn't anything. It was a teaser. Didn't give us anything. I expect a full-length trailer to hit with Black Widow. I really do. I've been saying that for a while. I think Black Widow is going to have a bunch of trailers for a bunch of stuff coming out over the next few months to a year. So be on the lookout for some trailers dropping around that time. But with all that said, guys, I do want to thank you all for watching, for supporting me as you have, for doing anything that you've ever done. Talk to me on Twitter, whatever it is. Thank you all so much. All of you that I've made friends with, thank you so much. But yeah, guys, with all that said, I will talk at all of you later.